There is a quiet way a person begins to fall apart. Not in one dramatic collapse, not in one public failure, but in small private moments that seem too ordinary to matter. The alarm rings. You said you would get up. You stay in bed. The work gets uncomfortable. You said you would stay with it. Your hand reaches for the phone. The set starts to burn. You said you would finish it. You begin looking for a softer exit. At first, it feels harmless. Just this once. Just this morning. Just 5 minutes. I'll make up for it tomorrow. But your mind hears all of it. Every delay. Every retreat. Every broken promise. And every time you break your word, something inside you shifts. A small fracture forms. The signal gets weaker. The voice inside you loses weight. That is how self-trust erodes. Not through catastrophe, through repetition. After a while, the problem is not laziness. It is that your own system stops treating your word as law. That is why simple things begin to feel heavy. That is why you can build a plan at night and betray it by morning. You are trying to move forward with a command your own body no longer believes. This is a film about inner authority, about what happens when your promises stop carrying force, and how to rebuild that force. Your mind keeps a record on you, a private ledger, a silent file, a history of what you said you would do and what you actually did. When life gets difficult, your brain does not look at your goals. It looks at the record, and it asks one question. What is the probability that this person will follow through? If the record is filled with hesitation, avoidance, excuses, and broken promises, your brain responds with logic. It gives you resistance. It gives you doubt. It gives you fatigue before the work even begins. Not because it hates you, because it has learned that your commands often collapse. This is why motivation feels unreliable. Most of the time, the problem is not inspiration, it is evidence. Your mind does not trust your voice because you trained it not to. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," and don't. Every time you say, "Just for a minute," and disappear into distraction. Every time you make a clear decision, then kneel to comfort the second resistance appears. You add another line to the record, another fracture, another weak signal. The first step in rebuilding self-trust is simple, but brutal. You have to stop lying about the damage. Most people want a reset, a new routine, a better app, a burst of motivation. But none of that touches the real wound. The wound is this: you have been breaking your own word. Look at the last 7 days. How many times did you promise yourself something important, only to soften the second discomfort appeared? How many times did you delay, scroll, postpone, justify, drift? This is where rebuilding starts. Not with hype, with honesty. Then most people make the next mistake. They respond to broken self-trust by making bigger promises. Tomorrow I wake up at 5. Tomorrow I change everything. Tomorrow I train for 2 hours. No. If you have spent months teaching your mind not to trust you, giant promises are unbelievable. You do not need larger promises. You need credible ones. Start with micro contracts. Read for 10 minutes. Walk for 15. Do one hard set. Work in silence for 20 minutes. Go to bed when you said you would. These are not small things. They are bricks. Every kept promise places one more brick where there used to be emptiness. One more point of contact between your words and reality. The goal is not the size of the action. The goal is the evidence. Because every completed action tells your brain something it has not heard in a long time. The record is changing. That is where self-trust begins. Not in intensity, not in emotion, in repetition. The workout is not just a workout. The page is not just a page. The hour is not just an hour. It is proof that when you speak, something moves. This is why the body matters so much. The body is where truth stops hiding. In the mind, you can rename anything. You can call distraction rest. You can call fear timing. You can dress avoidance up as strategy. But the body is harder to fool. You either got under the weight or you didn't. You either stayed with the burn or you escaped. You either moved or you negotiated. Physical discipline matters because it gives you clean evidence. A barbell does not care what you intended. A hill does not care about your excuses. A hard set does not negotiate with your mood. When you keep showing up physically, especially when the spark is gone, you teach your nervous system a new law. When I say move, I move. Because now your commands are no longer just thoughts. They have mass. And this is where the modern world becomes dangerous, because it constantly trains the opposite pattern. Every notification rehearses interruption. Every easy hit of stimulation rewards escape. Every algorithm whispers the same message. Break the contract. Leave the room. Drift a little. Come back later. And if you obey that whisper often enough, your life begins to scatter. Your attention fragments. Your standards soften. Your inner center grows unstable. That is why this battle is bigger than productivity. It is about sovereignty. Because every time you reach for the easy impulse instead of honoring a promise, you are surrendering authority. And a person ruled by every passing urge is not free. Every time you stay with the page instead of the phone, every time you finish the set instead of shortening it, every time you keep one promise in the middle of noise, you reclaim territory. And if you want this new self-trust to survive, you must protect it while it is still fragile. Pick 1 hour of your day. 1 clean hour. 1 hour where your word is law. If you say you will read, you read. If you say you will write, you write. If you say you will train, you train. No drifting, no phone, no negotiation, no soft exits. This hour is more than a productivity block. It is a threshold, a doorway between the version of you that keeps dissolving and the version of you that can be depended on. At first, it may feel small, but all real structure starts like this. 1 wall, 1 room, 1 bridge repaired, 1 hour of silence that does not break. And once your brain starts trusting you in that one protected space, the effect spreads. You hesitate less, you bargain less. Your thoughts become quieter, but heavier. Real confidence is when your body stops doubting your word. The world will keep offering you the easy path. It will keep telling you that 1 delay does not matter. 1 skipped rep does not matter. 1 broken promise does not matter. But this is how self-trust erodes. Quietly. Repeatedly. In moments small enough to ignore, but strong enough to shape a life. And this is also how it is rebuilt. 1 kept promise. 1 completed action. 1 hour protected from drift. 1 moment where you stay instead of escaping. You do not need to become a different person overnight. You need to become believable to yourself again. That is the work. Just rebuilding the bond between your word and your actions. And the moment your mind starts believing in you again, your whole life begins to move the right way. If this inspired you, give it a like, subscribe for weekly wisdom, and share your thoughts below to grow the Inner Strength community.